The room around you fades the moment you hear her laugh. That soft, unguarded sound that slips under your ribs and settles there like a secret you weren't supposed to hear. And suddenly, you're hyper-aware of something she would never say out loud. Something younger women feel in the quiet, hidden corners of their minds. A desire so subtle most older men never notice it, let alone understand it. You feel it in the way she looks at you a second too long, in the way her breath catches when your confidence disrupts her composure, in the way her voice softens as if she's giving you permission to step closer. Not because she's naive, not because you're older, but because there's something deeper she's hoping you'll sense. A need she'll never confess, a craving she'll deny even as it burns through her every interaction with you. This is the moment most men miss, but you're starting to see it. Welcome to Female Code Unlocked, where you and I walk into the unspoken, the unseen, and the deeply psychological truths most people run from. If you're ready to understand what younger women secretly want, and why only 1.1% of older men ever give it to them, take a breath with me, settle into this moment, and subscribe so you never miss the secrets beneath the surface. Because today, we're going deeper than you expect. You've probably noticed it already. The shift in her eyes when you don't rush to impress her, when you don't fight for her attention the way men her age usually do. And there's a reason for that. Younger women live in a world where everything is instant and disposable. Fast messages, fast relationships, fast disappointments. She's used to men crumbling the moment she pulls away, but you don't. And that quiet strength, that stillness in your presence, it unsettles her in the most addictive way. She wants a man who doesn't bend to her storms, but stands through them. She wants the emotional gravity of someone who's lived, not just existed. She wants a presence that makes her slow down, think twice, breathe deeper. And she won't say this, but she's quietly observing you from the corner of her awareness, watching how you move, how you speak, how you treat her without treating her like she's fragile. She's studying the parts of you that the world didn't give you, but life carved into you with its own hands. That kind of energy, masculine, grounded, and emotionally controlled, it hits her harder than beauty, harder than charm, harder than anything she expected to feel. Because deep down, even if she never admits it, she's tired of being the responsible one, the strong one, the emotionally held together one. She wants a place to collapse, just for a moment. A place where she doesn't have to be in control. And you might be the first man who doesn't demand that from her, but offers her something far more valuable: relief. But here's the part almost no older man realizes. Younger women don't want you to chase them the way a teenage boy would. They want you to walk with the quiet confidence of a man who knows he can leave at any time, and still chooses to stay. It's the quiet choice, not the desperate gestures, that leave them trembling in their own curiosity. It's the way you stay composed even when she tries to test your edges, the way your silence speaks louder than her drama, the way your presence makes her rethink everything she thought she knew about attraction. She doesn't want perfection. She wants emotional command. She doesn't want to control you. She wants to feel safe losing control around you. She doesn't want you to act younger. She wants you to be the man younger men can't imitate. And the truth is, she knows exactly when she's in the presence of a man who can unlock parts of her she didn't even know existed. But this is only the beginning. There's a darker, deeper layer beneath all of this. The layer most men never uncover. The one that separates the 1.1% from everyone else. There's a moment, a subtle, breath-sized moment, where she looks at you as if she's trying to decode something she's never encountered before. It happens when you're not talking, not performing, not trying to be anything but the man shaped by his own storms. And in that silence, she feels something she can't feel with men her age, the weight of a presence that doesn't crumble under pressure, the kind of presence that makes her pulse quicken and her defenses falter, even when she tries to pretend otherwise. This is where the real psychology begins. Younger women don't fall for your age. They fall for what your age has done to you. The way you pause before speaking, as if your words carry meaning. The way you look into her eyes without flinching, without seeking approval. The way you move like a man who knows exactly who he is and refuses to apologize for it. These are the things she notices, even if she pretends she doesn't. And each time she catches herself reacting to you, something in her shifts. It starts as curiosity. Why does he feel different? Why do I get nervous when he looks at me like that? Why do I want to understand him? But curiosity quickly turns into something deeper, something she can't control, Because there's one thing younger women secretly crave, yet only the rarest men give them: emotional mystery wrapped in masculine certainty. Not the mystery of games, not silence used as punishment, but the mystery of depth, of a man who has lived enough life to have shadows behind his eyes, but strength in his voice. A man who carries knowledge she can feel, but not yet touch. A man who doesn't reveal everything at once because his soul was never meant to be consumed in a single sitting. When you speak with intention, she leans in. When you withdraw slightly, she wonders why. When you stay calm while she spirals, she feels safe in a way that terrifies her. That's the paradox. The safety you give her awakens the desire she can't control. It's why she asks questions she doesn't need answers to. It's why she notices when your tone drops half an octave. It's why she studies your hands, your calmness, your silence. It's why she stops seeing you as older and starts seeing you as dangerous. Because to her, the real danger isn't physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. It's the feeling that you see through her, right down to the parts she hides from everyone else. And here's where almost every older man fails. They try to impress her with youth instead of depth. They try to outcompete younger men instead of outclassing them. They try to show energy instead of offering gravity. But you don't make that mistake. You understand that she's not drawn to the chase. She's drawn to the stability she can feel in your footsteps. She's drawn to the calm that settles in her chest when you enter a room. She's drawn to the authority in your eyes, not the volume of your words. And when she starts trusting that authority, slowly, cautiously, she begins showing you the parts of herself she hides from everyone else: her immaturity, her fears, her impulsiveness, her doubts. Not because she wants you to fix her, but because she wants to know if you can hold her without breaking. She wants to know if your presence is an illusion or a foundation. And that's where the next truth begins. The truth almost no man, young or old, ever realizes about what younger women secretly want. There's a flicker in her expression, a tiny, unguarded spark that lasts less than a second, but reveals everything she would never dare say out loud. It happens when you respond to her emotions without losing control of your own, when she throws a little attitude to test your balance, and you don't flinch. When she teases you to see if you'll chase, and you simply smile, as if you've already figured out the game she's barely learned to play. That's the moment she realizes you're different, because deep down, younger women want something they rarely admit, even to themselves. They want a man who doesn't collapse under the weight of their emotions, a man who doesn't fear their fire, but doesn't let it burn him either. A man who can feel deeply, but remain unshaken. When she gets emotional, you don't mirror the chaos. You become the still water beneath it. That stability triggers something ancient inside her, something instinctual. A sense of surrender that isn't about weakness, but trust. And trust for her is intoxicating. She wants to know that when she falls apart, you won't. That when her voice cracks, yours will deepen. That when she lashes out, you'll understand the pain behind it. That when she gets quiet, you'll hear what she's not saying. Younger men often respond with insecurity or arguments. But you respond with depth. And that depth creates a gravitational pull she can't resist, no matter how mature or independent she claims to be. It's not your age that attracts her. It's the emotional discipline you've earned through years of being tested by life. You've survived heartbreak, loss, pressure, disappointment, and without realizing it, you carry those lessons in the way you speak, breathe, listen, and decide. She feels all of it. She feels it in the way you make eye contact, slow and deliberate, like you're reading parts of her no one else sees. She feels it when you pause before answering, as if her words matter. She feels it when you walk away at the right moment, not to punish her, but to protect your peace. These subtle things, they affect her more than compliments ever could, because compliments touch her ego. But your presence touches her nervous system. It calms her, grounds her, challenges her, pulls her in. And suddenly she's not just attracted, she's invested. But here's the darker truth, the one almost no man understands. She doesn't want to lead the dynamic with you. She wants to feel led into the dynamic by you. Not controlled, not dominated, not owned. Led. Led by strength she respects. Led by emotional clarity she can rely on. Led by the masculine certainty she can surrender to without fear. Because a younger woman doesn't crave chaos with an older man. She craves certainty. She craves direction. She craves a man who knows what he's doing, not because he's perfect, but because he's lived enough life to make deliberate choices. And that's where your power begins. Not in trying to be younger, not in chasing her approval, not in performing confidence, but in being the man whose silence carries more meaning than another man's entire speech. The man who looks at her and makes her feel both seen and safe. But we're still not at the deepest layer. There's a truth beneath everything, one that explains why younger women desire older men in a way they can't explain, even to themselves. There's a shift inside her, a slow, trembling shift she tries to hide, because even she doesn't fully understand it. It happens in the quiet moments, when she's replaying something you said, or the way you looked at her, or the calm tone you used when she expected you to lose your composure. She starts wondering why your presence lingers in her mind long after you've left the room. This is where the real desire begins. Not in attraction, not in chemistry, but in fascination. You see, younger women don't fall for older men because of age, they fall because of contrast. Contrast they can feel but can't define. A younger man mirrors her energy. You redirect it. A younger man gets flustered when she's emotional. You become calmer. A younger man tries to impress. You simply exist, and that's enough. That contrast creates psychological tension, soft, invisible, addictive. It makes her wonder what else you're capable of, what else you've lived through, what else you feel, but never reveal. And the more she wonders, the deeper she sinks into curiosity she can't escape. Because a younger woman secretly wants a man whose emotional world is bigger than hers. She wants the mystery of your history, the silence behind your scars, the confidence built from years of being broken and rebuilding yourself again. The kind of man who knows what matters and knows what doesn't, because he's already survived the consequences of choosing wrong. She wants the man who stands in front of her with a warmth she can trust, but eyes that hint at darkness she'd spend years trying to understand. You become a puzzle, a riddle, a story she wants to be written into. And it's not about power. It's not about age. It's not even about experience. It's about depth. Depth she's never felt before. Depth she didn't know to look for. Depth she didn't realize she craved until she met you. Because here's the truth. A younger woman wants to feel small in the best possible way. Not inferior, not lesser, but overwhelmed in the presence of something larger than her emotions. She wants your maturity to soften her impulsiveness, your patience to balance her chaos, your certainty to quiet her fears. And when she senses that your power comes from inner discipline, not ego, she lets her guard down. Just a little at first. A crack, barely visible. But enough for you to feel the shift. She starts telling you things she never planned to. She starts trusting you with thoughts she hides from her friends. She starts letting you see the younger, more vulnerable parts of her, the parts she usually masks with confidence or attitude, because subconsciously she wants to be guided, wants to be understood, wants to be emotionally held, not with hands, but with presence. This is why only 1.1% of older men ever experience her full desire. Because only 1.1% know how to create that emotional environment, not by trying harder, but by being stiller, calmer, more conscious, more intentional. And once she feels that, once she feels a man whose energy anchors her instead of amplifying her insecurity, she gives you a version of herself no younger man has ever seen. But there's one final truth that ties everything together. A truth younger women carry quietly. A truth they rarely speak. A truth that explains why they choose the older man in the end. There's a moment when her guard doesn't just soften, it dissolves. Not because of something you said, not because of something you did, but because somewhere deep inside her she realizes you are the first man who doesn't need anything from her to feel whole. And that terrifies her in the most irresistible way. See, younger women spend years dealing with men who rely on them for validation, men who crumble if she pulls back, men who need attention like oxygen, men who depend on her reactions to feel powerful. But you don't require her to make you feel like a man. You already are one. Your identity doesn't move when her mood shifts. Your self-worth doesn't tremble when she tests you. Your masculinity doesn't depend on her approval. That emotional independence, it's magnetic. It's intoxicating. It's rare. And it awakens the truth she hides even from herself. She doesn't want to be your world. She wants to be invited into your world of discipline, your world of standards, your world of boundaries shaped by years of wisdom and loss, your world where love isn't rushed and intimacy isn't cheap, and desire isn't a game played for ego. She wants to be chosen by a man who doesn't choose easily. She wants to feel worthy of someone who's seen enough life to know what matters. She wants to feel like her presence enhances you, not fills a void inside you. And here's the final psychological truth, the one that separates the 1.1% from the rest. A younger woman wants a man who leads her not with control, but with direction. Not with dominance, but with certainty. Not with coldness, but with emotional authority. She wants to follow a man whose life is already moving with purpose. A man she can trust enough to let herself be feminine around. Because deep down, she longs for a place where she doesn't have to overthink. A place where she can stop leading. A place where she can rest in the presence of someone stronger. Not strength built on muscles or anger. Strength built on wisdom, patience, and command. She wants to feel like her chaos melts when she's near you. Like her insecurity has no space to breathe in your presence. Like her mind becomes quieter simply because you walked into the room. And when she senses that in you, that combination of emotional depth, internal stability, and calm masculine force, she doesn't just want you. She attaches to you. She invests in you. She opens to you. She surrenders to you. Not out of weakness, but relief. Because you are no longer just the older man. You are the rare man. The 1.1%, who understands what she secretly wants, but will never say.